So when we moved here, I always tell everybody that I traded my high heels and my briefcase for a backpack and ski boots. Hi, I'm Karen Richardson, and I work in mountain operations as the administrator and also the head dispatcher for all resort emergencies. I grew up in Leominster, Mass. I was working as a securities broker. We came up, we stayed at the Sugarbush Inn for a long weekend. We went on glider rides, we went fly fishing, we went hiking, we just didn't stop. And just fell in love with the area. So we rented for 3 seasons and just loved it. Once we saw the summers here, we said, we just gotta move here. We built a house, and now we live on North Basin Road with 4.5 acres and a couple of horses and a couple of dogs and chickens and a cat, and our small mortgage with no responsibility went to a very large mortgage with a lot of responsibility, and we just couldn't be happier. I love that I can walk out my front door and I'm on a dirt road. I didn't have a lot of experience riding as a kid. My grandpa had a horse, but he boarded her. For a summer, I would go with him on Sundays over to ride. So when Rob got into it, I was like, all right, well, not one to run away from my fears. So we brought Smokey home, and then I got a horse, Maggie, who I still have. Maggie's 26, 27 years old. She's a horse I learned to ride on here. And she's a Belgian draft Morgan Cross, so she's like riding a couch. I also got CJ, who was just going to be a pasture pony, and he became my heart horse. He trusted me, I trusted him. Funny story, one of the rides I took him on, we went up, there's an area about a mile from my house that's just beautiful. And we're getting ready to head home, and we're going through the pasture and heading back, and we're going to turn into the trailhead, and he wouldn't go. So I was like, what are you trying to tell me? So I just was like, whatever. So I dropped the reins, I said, tell me what you want. He goes walking down about 50 feet, and he goes, looks at me, he goes, this trailhead. So I don't have a very good sense of direction. Now we have a new horse, Billy, who we've only had about 3 months, and he's a 9-year-old thoroughbred. Billy does not like to be groomed or touched, and I was like, yeah, but I love to groom you. So he's a real learning experience for us. As Rob says, it's not a hobby, it's a lifestyle. My mother said when I was a kid that I said I was going to live on a farm with horses and dogs, and I have no recollection of ever saying. So I've been in mountain operations now, this will be my 15th season. We're the central communication for anything that happens at the mountain. We have an office that has a big screen with all the radios. All the radios have GPS on them. We can see where everybody is. First thing in the morning, we'll just log on, we'll do an all call, so all the radios out there know the dispatch is now in service. So we'll take close to 100 phone calls before 9 o'clock in the morning. Some days it's 10, 11 hours that they call me a two-headed octopus. Because it's just going all day long with phones and radios. No 2 days are ever the same. It's amazing. We have an incredible team. There's 7 of us. They're all men. And the incredible respect that we all have for each other. And now we've all been working with each other for quite a while. I love it. I'm not bored. In dispatch, you can't leave the desk. Somebody has to cover for me to go. And I would never feel right saying, hey, can somebody cover for me so I can go take a run, because that would pull them away from their job. So for my 60th birthday a couple of years ago, I said, I'd like to ski 60 days. And they're like, we are behind you all the way, whatever you need us to do. So they'd come in and they'd be like, so did you take your run today? I'm like, nah, I don't think I'm gonna go. You're not gonna get your 60 days that way. Other days I'd be sitting there with my ski boots on for about 7 hours before somebody would have an opportunity to come in and say, did you get your run? And I'm like, not yet. And they're like, okay, go. And I did it. I made my 60 days. It was a complete team effort. We all say it here that we're all one big family. I had a tree down across my driveway, and I texted Hammond and Chad, and whoever was there first was out there bucking up the tree on my driveway within 20 minutes. Like everybody knows my dog's name, and we all know everybody's spouse's names and their kids' names, and and how was Caleb's basketball game last night. And when my husband had his knee replaced, without even saying anything to anybody, I'd come home from work and one neighbor had dropped hay and shavings in the barn for me, and another neighbor had mowed the lawn for me, and another neighbor had dropped off food for us. Something you just can't put a price tag on. I always say it's not a place, it's a feeling here in Vermont, in the Valley.